Welcome. Good evening. Hello, all 51 of you, and happy Tuesday night. I hope you guys have less of a headache right now than I have. I had like a hot compress on, had to go to the chiropractor today. will probably have to admit that this is a remnant or a leftover of my shenanigans over the weekend, but boy, what a great time I had. Thank you, first of all, to the many Texas Rangers and wives and husband and invited guests that joined us for the adventure. I had a great time. I hope you guys did as well. But that's where we're going to start today's call with a weekend recap because boy, was it a blast. And many more exciting times are coming our way. Did we cover the basics? Bobby Gray, founder and fearless leader of TEXITcoin, the most exciting thing that's happening today in the wild world of cryptocurrency. Remember, Tuesday night calls, a couple things. Number one, it's just for miners. Now, some people share this thing and it goes out and streams. That's okay. But I really only want miners actively participating on the call because we get into some stuff behind the scenes. It's not necessarily private. Books are kind of wide open over here, but this is information that's shared first with you. Second of all, this is our opportunity every week to connect and go through questions and answers as this thing gets bigger and bigger and bigger. We are like one tiny hair away from crossing over the 3,000 miners threshold, which is an amazing feat. But as we get bigger and bigger, a couple things happen. First of all, my time gets stretched more and more thinner. My time gets stretched thinner and thinner. And the other thing as well that's really important is that as this thing begins to grow and succeed as it is doing so quite a bit already, I get to start to move on to the next phase. Building the mine was where we started, and it's been a task. You know, it started out very, very slowly, and some days it felt like we weren't making any progress, and then all of a sudden it started taking off, and then I think that's really where we are today. And but that's not all we're doing. We're not just building the mine. That's how we're establishing the foundation for what we want to become one of the largest and most well-respected cryptos in the world. The mine is our backbone, and it's really important for us to have a big enough mine to be taken seriously and to successfully secure and record keep the transactions that are happening on the network. But this is all done for what's coming next. And remember, what's coming next is we're fulfilling Bitcoin's original mission. We're fulfilling Bitcoin's cryptocurrency's original promise. Digital, decentralized, peer-to-peer currency. If people ask you, well, what's the utility for TEXITcoin? First of all, it makes them think like they know a thing or two about the cryptocurrency industry and what they're talking about. But just look them right back as sarcastically as they looked at you in the first place and real, I don't know what the right word is. My headached brain is not finding it. What's the word? Yes, condescendingly say back to them, we're doing what Bitcoin forgot. Currency, remember, the most important thing, the biggest market of all. We are doing the mission that the Bitcoin guys, the guys that got their Lambos and their super yachts, forgot, gave up on, decided wasn't important after they got mega rich, crypto rich. When we started to take a look at what crypto rich means just this past weekend, 5 stars all the way. I'm going to show you some pictures in just a moment, but that's what we're doing. Okay. Well, who does that and how? Well, that's what I'm good at. There are a lot of things that I bring to the table here, a lot of experience, some great relationships, can-do attitude. But I'd like to argue that the biggest one of all is my experience in the realm of alternative and complementary currency. I'm the guy that testified about it in U.S. Congress in 2012. I'm the guy that knows how to get people to use an alternative currency. And so that's what's next. And as we become larger and more successful and our cash begins to grow, that's when I get to start focusing on what's next. And so that's really what's exciting to me, that honest money possibility that cryptocurrency gives us the ability to do thousands of times faster than I was able to do with gold and silver. But it's the same mission, just a different tool set. And so I'm very excited about being able to spend more of my time now on getting these small towns first to start actually using the TEXITcoin blockchain, the TXC blockchain, as the backbone for their local community currencies. That's where it begins. That's not the only thing what we're doing. And that's not the only thing that can be done. There's a lot of stuff out there that can happen with cryptocurrency, but we got to start somewhere. And why not start by fulfilling cryptocurrency's original mission, original promise of digital, decentralized peer to peer currency? So that's what I'm passionate about. That's what gives us real utility. That's what gives us a real head and shoulders advantage over the competition. I say that because money touches everything. Money gets to every corner of the planet. And so if we're the guys that are working on money and we actually know how to do it, that means we're the guys that are going to be the most successful. And we talk about top 100 and maybe top 50, 20, 10, 5. Well, why not number one? If we're the guys that are actually doing what the core purpose of cryptocurrency is, no reason why we shouldn't be number one. All right, let me exit out of that so that doesn't pop up and bother us. Anyway, as this thing grows, as it succeeds, as we're able to follow through on our promises to you, I get to spend my time working on setting our course into the next phase. And that's very exciting for me. And it is another thing that I do outside of the three core promises that I make to you: building the mine, promoting the coin, and paying the commissions. So let's take a real quick walk through the last couple days, and I will start. Let me rearrange some things here. Oh, let's go through that first. Let's start there and talk about what we accomplished this past weekend, because we really not just had a great time, but we also accomplished a major milestone. And we'll talk about that in just a second. So here we are with our statistics. Remember, I think just before we got together last Tuesday on the call, we were able to plug in the new equipment, turn it on, and watch the hash power jump far, far, far and away. And so where we are today with these new numbers is great, but we're not done. Right now, we're about 1/3 of the way to where we want to go. Maybe more like 40%. Okay, yeah, I guess it's like 40%. So you can see two lines here. You can see this long, straight, steady line. This long line matches up with the sold hash power on the right side, and our current hash rate is listed on the left side. So the ups and downs that you're seeing here is the actual network hash rate, but this long straight line that's continuing to grow up, 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 and away is our sold hash power. So what happens at the end of the week is very simple. I add up all the sold hash power from the week. I divide it by the hash power per machine, and I place an order with our vendor in China to get the equipment so that we are allocating the cash that comes in from growing the mine to the vendor so that the equipment comes this way and we can plug it in. So there are a couple of different steps involved in following through on that first promise of building the mine. Step one is to purchase the equipment. Step two is to physically get the equipment. Easier said than done in the past. And then step three is to actually plug it in, turn it on. And there's a lot of infrastructure that goes into that third step. We've got immersion cooling that's extremely expensive, but extremely cool. We've got utility providers, negotiated rates for electric service. And we've got land, we've got buildings, we've got real estate that has to be messed with. So there's a lot that goes into actually getting it plugged in. So yeah, it's good that I take the money and I buy the machines from the vendors, and it's even better when those machines show up. But the job is not done until those machines are plugged in and turned on, and you can see the result reflected then in the hash power on this chart. It's the first chart on our website because it's probably the most important thing. This is what's showing you the results of our work. So as we're going out there and inviting people into our community and bringing in cash, we're building the mine, we're paying commissions, we're promoting the coin. And this chart here shows you how we're doing with actually physically plugging in the machines that go into building the mine. And as you can see, we were down here around 35, 40 gigahash, and then all of a sudden we jumped up to over 400 gigahash. So a 10x increase in the mining output. Now, why? Well, because we need a big network. We want the world to notice what we're doing. We want the network to be large, decentralized, reliable. And so that's what has to happen. Now, it's been very small for a while as we've waited for equipment to come in and wait for those other things to come together. But that day has finally arrived where we were able to plug those things in. And so now you can watch the hash power. Here's an interesting tidbit to share with you. This is our Litecoin address. This is our Litecoin wallet up here. And this is the wallet that the Litecoin that we're merge mining pays out to. And so if you'd like to have this wallet address, I'll share it with you in our group. This is the wallet address that you can monitor to see the Litecoin rewards. I get a notification. Why can't you have a notification as well? You can see that these are newly generated coins that just came off the Litecoin mine. And we've hit 2 Litecoin blocks so far since we plugged in this new equipment. Now, a Litecoin block today pays out 6.25 LTC. Remember, it works the same way that Bitcoin does, where the number of coins that are mined gets smaller and smaller and smaller as time goes by. But this is the first time that we hit a block since December 7th. And so, man, 4 months of waiting and mining between our last block and the block that we just hit. Now, why did that happen? It happened, and there was that long of a gap because the Litecoin network took off in difficulty. And so our little baby mine wasn't even able to get up and submit its blocks to the Litecoin network. The Litecoin network said, I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Are you trying to submit blocks? Because you better step up your game. And so for a while, we were not even able to submit our blocks to the Litecoin network because the network difficulty was too high. But that has all now changed, and we've hit 2 blocks in just the last week. And so if you want to monitor this address along with me, you can see when those new blocks come in, and I will cash them out when our electric bill is due. What will our electric bill be? Well, our electric bill was about $1,750 a month when we were running before. We were running off of, I don't know, trying to think of exactly how much power, because we were on 100 amps at 240. So call it 50 amps at 480. And we're now using about 280 amps. So 280 divided by 50 is about 5.6 times. So if our electric bill was 1750 and we're 5.6 times the power consumption now, the electric bill is going to jump up to 9,800. However, we got a better rate because we're using more. We're actually down in like the 7.5 cent range, and we were at 13.8. So 9,800, 7.8 divided by 13.8. I think that's where we are. So we multiply this by the 9,800 bill that we're expecting, and we're thinking that our electric bill is going to be about $5,500 a month with the consumption that we have for the output that we have today. So if we've hit these 2 blocks so far, and we've hit these blocks 4 days apart, then it stands to reason that over a 30-day month divided by 4, we're going to hit 7.5 blocks. The block reward is about, it's about, what is that? About $500, let's say. And so 7.5 times 500 blocks is going to be 3,750. So it's not going to cover our entire electric bill of 5,539, which we project, but it gets us a nice chunk of the way there. It gets us a really nice chunk of the way there. Now, how do we get the rest of the way? We get the rest of the way by also merge mining Doge. And so we had to choose back when we started programming whether we wanted to merge mine Litecoin with TEXITcoin or Doge with TEXITcoin. We went with Litecoin first because it was actually a pretty easy challenge. So now our developers are looking at how to merge mine Litecoin, Doge, and TEXITcoin all together. So it's another technical accomplishment that's coming our way. They're hard at work on it now, and I'm optimistic that once they figure that out and we can merge mine Litecoin and Doge, we'll actually have some profit from doing the mining. Remember, mining is supposed to be profitable. It requires a huge capital investment. And so the next challenge is to figure out what we actually do with the profit. So today we're going to lose a little bit of money, not a lot, but a little bit. And even once we triple the output by plugging in 2 more B24s, which you'll see in just the next few moments. So let's see if we are losing about 1,750 a month. We multiply that by 3, we'll be losing $5,200 a month. Not a big deal. We've got enough money in the budget for us to do that and carry that cost while we work towards our, am I sharing my screen right now? I don't think I'm sharing my screen. While we work towards our Doge and Litecoin merge mining technological masterpiece. And so that's all on the way, but that's what's happening right now. very impressed that we have that plugged in. And again, I'm sharing that with you so you guys can watch to see when we hit our next Litecoin block. It's very cool stuff. Here's our cash management worksheet. Apparently I'm signed out. Let's sign back in real quick if I can. It's going to make me do this too. Let's see if I can get plugged in here real quick. Sign on. And I'm in. Next. Thanks for helping keep my account secure. Google. There I am. And there we are. Okay, so let's take a quick look at this spreadsheet and show you exactly where we are on making sure that we have all the mining hash power that we've sold. So here's a list of all the stuff we've bought. These last 5 miners are on the way right now. And so if you add up all the L7s that are still on order, I actually just finished paying for them today. They were on a payment plan that was due, well, it's due before the end of April. So it's paid off. And if you add all this up, then we've got a total of 1.115 million hash power sold, as you can see over here. 15.8. Let's update that number. 1115.8 sold. And this is how much we are missing. So we are over hashed now by about 84,000. So if we take these out of the equation that we're still waiting for, then we're missing 10,200 mega hash. But again, we've got these 10 on order, fully paid, and we will have more hash power than we need based on what we've sold to date. And so incredibly important stuff, but that's how we continue our trajectory of growth, by following through on the promises we make to you. So let's take another look at a couple more numbers. Go back to sharing my screen. And this is an important thing. We broke past the $6 million threshold this past week. That was great. You can see that the average per miner is starting to slow down a little bit. We're starting to level off a little bit. That's good. If you look at it on the month chart, you can see the drastic drop off in the slowdown. But it's been a little slow the last couple of weeks. 2 weeks ago, we did 401,000, which was a big chunk off of our record of 597. Last week, we did a little bit better than that at 417. But I wouldn't say that I've been pumping the brakes the last couple of weeks, but we've definitely not been focusing on stepping on the gas. And the reason for that is because we're working through a lot of administrative stuff. Payment processing is a real bear right now. As we transition fully over to peer payments and crypto payments, a lot of that stuff's going to get a lot easier. And now, folks, it's time to step on the gas. We're ready. Crypto's ready. It's easy with crypto. It's easy to get paid. It's easy to pay out commissions. It's easy to pay the vendors. As we get into that next phase for us, which we've been kind of regretting and holding off on for a while, life is going to get a lot easier for me. And as such, it's going to give us all the incentive that we need to really step on the gas and accelerate our growth. Commissions are almost paid in full for this week. There's $45,000 left to get paid out by the end of the day tomorrow. And I just sent out an email to everyone that's waiting on or that has not yet received commission for this period saying, how do you want to get paid? Hopefully the answer to your question is crypto. Why? Because like I just said, it's incredibly easy. And I really want you guys to help us make our lives easier. The bookends of the crypto experience are what we call on-ramping and off-ramping. And so crypto is like a little digital playground, right? Think of it like the metaverse, and you got to get the goggles in order to go into the metaverse and have fun, right? So in order to get into the crypto realm and mess around with crypto stuff, you've got to on-ramp. Coinbase is the easiest and is the #1 on-ramp in the US. You download the Coinbase app, you put in your ID, take a selfie, and then link it into your bank account, and you can buy USDC. They'll even pay you interest on your USDC deposit. It's the largest in the US. It's probably pretty safe. I think it's even FDIC insured at this point, at least for smaller deposits. So that's what we call an on-ramp. And so when we say, hey, we really need you to pay us in crypto, if you set up a Coinbase account, if you link that to a debit card, you should be able to fund it for a couple $1,000 right away, very easily, get us paid and get your seat on the rocket ship. That's on-ramping. Okay. It sounds like a scary experience. It's really not that bad. Okay. Don't click on any buttons you don't understand. Just take your time. We'll have videos published tonight on how to do that. But that's on-ramping. Then you're into the world of crypto. You send us your payment, we send you your coin, you're on the rocket, you're good to go. If you choose to help us grow, there's a whole world of things to discover there. But then you get crypto, you get TEXITcoin. And our goal is to teach you how to turn that TEXITcoin into USDT, send it back over to Coinbase so that you can convert it and put it into your bank account, right? That's what I call the cycle or the loop. And it's not until you go through that entire process where you join, you pay, you get your coin, you get it your wallet, you move some over to the exchange and you sell it on the exchange and you get some of this and you put it in your bank account that you go, oh, I get it. It all makes sense now. Totally confusing and impossible at first. And then once you do it, you go, well, that wasn't that difficult. And I just figured out that it's not really a scam. This is actually a real project. And number three, and this is the best part, you start to see the dots between what we're doing and our ability to achieve our goal. How do we get to become a large crypto? By crowdfunding this gigantic mine, using the coins to pay commission, or using the cash we bring in to promote our coin and paying out the cash commissions for you guys to help us grow. That's how it works. That's it. It's the whole equation right there. It becomes this beautiful self-reinforcing cycle. And so once you go through that process where you start, you mine, you move it to your wallet, you move it to an exchange, you sell it, you move it to Coinbase, and you put it back in your bank account. Until that happens, it's a foreign language that you'll never understand. And then once you do it, you go, oh, it's real. It worked. Hey, this is pretty cool. And I want to see the price of these coins go up. How can I help? How can I participate to actually make this whole project become a huge win? It's real simple. Go out there and help us fill the seats on the rocket ship. Really important aspect because it helps you increase your hash power. As your hash power increases, you get more TEXITcoin. You figure out how to sell the TEXITcoin on the market, you get more dollars. And so this whole cycle, once you go through it, then it becomes very easy. And the last step is what we call off-ramping. So you're on-ramping onto Coinbase or Kraken, you're linking your bank account, you're turning it into USDC, you're getting involved, you're figuring it out, you're joining us for this education experience, and then you're putting cash back in your bank account. That's the whole process. We need you to go through that whole process. And so what's happening now is we're forcing people to engage Coinbase or Kraken or Gemini or an exchange here in the US in the beginning. And what that does is it says, hey, okay, I'm getting into crypto. And now once you go through that process and you figure out how to do it and you're not as scared of it as you once were, then you earn a commission and we pay you the commission in USDC in your Coinbase account and you off ramp back into your bank account. You go, oh, I get it now. We're going from physical money into the digital realm, back into physical money. That's it. That's the process. And so as long as we give you the ability to bypass that on-ramp, no, I don't want it. I just want to write you a check. I just want to send you a Venmo. Let me just do the Cash App thing. It's easy. As long as we make it easy and possible for you to skip that first on-ramp process, we only make it more difficult for you to off-ramp later because you haven't gotten started yet. And so we want you to engage the project. We want you to understand crypto. The faster you understand what we're doing here, the faster this thing becomes less of a mystery and more of an achievable, obtainable goal that you have the ability to participate in and affect the outcome of. Unless and until you wrap your mind around what we're doing, you won't be able to help us to grow. You won't get the rewards and we won't hit our goal. And we have a lot of great people involved in this project. I call them Texit Rangers. And we have got a lot more great people right behind those guys. But we need everyone to understand what's going on here because at some point, someday, you're going to call us up and be like, hey, what do I do with this coin? My wallet says it's worth $300,000. I don't know what to do. Where have you been for the last year, man? We've been making videos every Tuesday night. We've taken you through the whole process, start to finish, like a number of times. And the last thing we want is a customer service nightmare when this thing hits. And the last thing we want, even lesser than that, is you making some silly mistake, taking this thing out. Your hands are shaking because it's worth so much and you can't even get it out of the package the right way. And you do something silly because you didn't get comfortable with it along the journey. And what we're trying to get over to is unconscious competence. Think about how you learn, right? Think about maybe learning how to drive stick or riding a bicycle, right? You're doing it all wrong in the beginning, but you have no idea how to do it. You're grinding the gears. You don't know. It's all fun and games, right? We call that unconscious incompetence. You're doing it all wrong, but you have no idea what the right way is. And so it doesn't matter. Well, then somebody starts to teach you. You get the idea of the hands at 10 and 2, pressing in the clutch, pulling it back this way. You're still grinding the gears, but at least now you know what you're doing wrong. That's what we call conscious incompetence. You're still making the mistakes, but at least now you know the difference between right and wrong. And then you're starting to get the hang of it. Get your hands the right spot. You're shifting exactly the right intervals. Don't talk to me. I'm trying to focus right now. You're getting it right, but it takes every bit of attention that you've got. That's what we call conscious competence. You're starting to do it all right, but it's a whole lot of work. And then, of course, with enough practice, you switch over to the final stage of learning, which is what we call unconscious competence. You're doing it all right. It's just like riding a bike. You don't even think about it. It's like breathing. Simple, automatic. Let's get over to having this so easy that you can click, 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 send any amount of money to anybody on the face of the earth in moments. You can do that for almost free. You can do it without going through the bank. That's the world of crypto that I want you to know. That's the world of crypto that took me years to find. But once you get over to that side, a couple things happen. Number one, you're making money. Number two, you realize this thing is real. It's not a scam. It never was. You see the dots, the tiny little dots that are so close that connect us and our mission and our goal of being $1 billion coin. Remember, we're not getting to the $1 billion status through the influencers and the pump and dumps and the shallow stuff. We're getting there through building a mind and building a community of people that are going to be champions of TEXITcoin. That's how we get to the goal. And then you'll see those little dots. Oh, if I understand this, I could teach other people. I can sell it now. We've got some really great people in our community that have not brought on a single person so far. Oh, I'm so sorry. I just don't understand. Well, why not? We get together every week to go through the basics. Let's go. Once you understand it, then you grasp it. You realize that it's a real project, and you realize that you have the ability to participate and directly affect the outcome of reaching our goal. Whether that's how big we can get or how fast we can get there, you play a vital role in that process. But you can't engage it unless and until you understand it. And I need you to understand it. And the very first step of understanding it, all the way back at the beginning, is on-ramping with something like Coinbase or Kraken. And you don't have to use either one of them. If you find a different one, if Robinhood works or Venmo works for you or something else, great. But as long as we make it easy to skip that first step, we've also made it easy for you to skip all the rest of the steps. And we just can't do that as our community continues to grow. But if you become comfortable in the beginning, you're just as comfortable when you get your commission check. You go, okay, it's in my account. Easy, no fees. It's a very important process to on-ramp and off-ramp. This is how we get into and out of the realm of digital currency. And if we make it easy for you to skip it on the front end, then you're going to demand that we make it even easier to skip it on the back end. And it just doesn't scale. It just doesn't work as we scale. So help us help you. Thank you. Once you get the hang of it and you decide to help us grow, you get to become what we call a Texit Ranger. And we had a great time this past week. And I told you that we accomplished a major goal. We really did. And the goal that we accomplished isn't like just having a good time and spending a lot of money. The goal was connecting some of the greatest people in our community, having them meet each other. We text, we're online, we're like rubbing each other the wrong way from time to time. Then you get together and have a conversation in person, hug it out, break some bread together, have a drink together, laugh together, go through these experiences together. It was just a great team building exercise. We didn't do any trust falls. We didn't have to do the ropes course, but we had a blast. Right now, today, there are 12 Texas Rangers. And we got together. I'll go through just a real quick review of the last couple of days because we had a blast. We had dinner on Friday night at the Gaylord, the little steakhouse. I don't know what I'm doing there. It was our first event, so I was telling people we're going to make some mistakes. We're going to book up, some rooms the wrong way, and it was going to be a little uncomfortable. We were going to figure it out and get better next time. Saturday morning, we jumped on a nice bus and we headed out on a little bit of a TEXITcoin tour of DFW. Our first stop was in downtown McKinney, where we had an opportunity to go through the office. There's not much to look at there, but it's nicely appointed. And we went through the entire process. We talked about onboarding because that's really a big challenge for us right now. And I said, look, guys, here's what we do. Right now, we're kind of gatekeeping a little bit. We don't want anyone and everyone joining our thing. We don't have a single miner that's unhappy. We don't have a single unsatisfied customer on our rocket ship. Everyone is in the right place. How do we do that? Well, first of all, we have a real thing that, is really easy to discover quickly that it's real. Two, we don't make any promises that we can't keep. It's all easy to do stuff. Three is you start getting a return immediately. The first day you sign up, when we get your payment, you're in the system, you're going to get some coins paid out. So if anybody wanted to get their money back, they would just sell their spot, which has never happened. Actually, that's not true. I guess we've had 3 people sell their spot, but it's not because they were unhappy. It's because somebody gave them a ton of money to retire them early. Anyway, I like that. I really like that we have 100% engagement out of our community. And that's a very important thing to me because as we're setting the foundation for this thing, as we're building out, the bedrock of our community, we want everyone to be happy. We want everyone to be satisfied minimum with our relationship. And so we gatekeep a little bit. And the first thing that happens when somebody fills out the form on the website is they get an annoying phone call or text. Hey, it's me. Just saw you signed up, blah, blah, blah. Want to go through a couple of the basics with you real quick before we ask you for the money. We're not asking you for the money until you understand that this thing is a risk. We feel very good about it, but you got to think of it more like gambling. It's not an investment. It's not a pump and dump. It's not a Ponzi. It's not all these things that you might have thought that they were. People will tell you that they are. It's a real project. But if the lights go out tomorrow, then all bets are off. I don't know what to do next. If there's an EMP, the zombies take over. Cross our fingers. We'll do the best we can. But it's a risk. And if you're not comfortable joining us to take that risk, we don't want your money. We're doing extremely well right now. We've got a very level playing field. But if it's not something that you're comfortable doing, come back when you're ready. No problem. That's number one. Then we go through the basics and we say, okay, you ready? Good. Give us some money. And now we're pushing people to get a Coinbase account set up. We'll activate their mining output right away, and we'll hold their coin until they've completed the payment. So we went through that process at the office and helped everybody make a little bit more sense of the script. And that is where we began. And then from there, we were off to my place. Now, this is mining site number 1. This is the garage that's on the north section of my land. And we started here because when I bought this property back in early 2021, my only question about whether or not I wanted to buy it was whether or not I could put in big power. In order to run a coin factory, you need to have big power, big 3-phase power. You're powering these ovens that are melting metal at 2,700 degrees. So you need a ton of power for this stuff. And it cost me about $100,000 to install the power that I needed to run the mint. And now all of a sudden, here I am, a couple of years later, factory sold, out of the coin minting business, and I've got exactly the power that we need. I'm trying to find more sites for it right now. It's not an easy thing to find. We've got it. Most people don't. And so that's where my number 1 is. But as we have been getting ourselves set up and established, people have been asking a lot, can I see the mine? And the answer for the most part has been not really. Why not? That doesn't sound like full transparency. Well, here's the deal. The mine started with this little box, and I had a whole bunch of them. It was making a lot of noise. Then we switched over to like this bathtub thing, and that bathtub thing has got more power than all these little boxes combined, but it doesn't look very impressive. And if you see any videos on the internet about these giant Bitcoin mining data centers, man, it is mines 20 feet in the air. Acres, tens of thousands of square feet of these things mining crypto. Ours doesn't look like that. And so I've been kind of a little tentative. Let me get the next step. Let me get a little closer to where we are before we start taking pictures and sharing video of this stuff. Well, yeah, it's real, and if you really need to see it, then come on over. But I really don't want to make a big deal out of the mine until we've at least got a couple more of these things plugged in. And so that's what we got as of today. This is what we call the B24. It's from Fog Hashing, a great company that we met at last year's World Digital Mining Summit. And so we've got 24 L9s plugged in here, whereas we've had L7s running in the bathtub. We've got L9s running here. This is the latest and greatest technology and the latest and greatest cooling technology. So we are state of the art, guys. This is as good as it can be done in the entire crypto space. We've got it. We've crowdsourced it and it's there and it's done. Now, I don't know if you saw this behind me, but over here behind Jason and Tim, Jennifer. Oh no, that's not Jennifer. That's Kogi. Is a pallet of additional L9s. Now, these are 24 additional L9s that are sitting there on the pallet. And outside behind Chad is another B24 set. So I've got a whole nother set of B24. That's the cool immersion cooling technology from Fog Hashing. We've got another set of that out here that just arrived a couple days ago that's sitting on the driveway waiting for a home. And we are madly searching the DFW Metroplex right now to find a place to plug that one in and take these 24 L9s and drop them in there. Once that happens, you will see our hash power on the website jump by another 400 megahash, or I'm sorry, 400 gigahash. 24 L9s that run at 16,500 will increase us from this 450 where we are to now almost 900,000. Well, more than 900,000. And that puts us very close to our sold hash power goal. And so ultimately, what we want to see in the nearest future possible is that our sold hash power is and our current hash power are the same. We want our current hash power to be slightly more than our sold hash power. And when we get there, then I can look you in the eye and I can say, I've fulfilled the obligation of first and foremost building the mine. You can see it right there in the hash power. It's why we use the mega hash. It's a weird term. It's uncomfortable. But every time somebody joins on the 995 package, we grow by 100 megahash, 100, and it adds up. We're coming up on 3,000 miners now, and it's adding up very quickly now. We're adding about 100,000 megahash per week. And so that's about 5 or 6 new miners every week. So that's the next set of L9 sitting on the pallet, and the next B24 is sitting there. Now, after that, we are waiting for the next B24 so that we can have the next 24 L9s dropped into its hub. We actually upgraded that to a B48. And so the B48 holds 48 miners double stacked on top of each other. I will put the B48 at mine site number 1 in McKinney. Mine sites number 2 and 3 will be somewhere around DFW so that they're administratable nearby. And then we move on to phase 2. And remember, phase 2, and I just placed a deposit on phase 2 today. I bought 520 of the Alpha Packs DG1 home editions. These are the ones that I'm happiest with at the moment. We'll send them out to miners all across the state of Texas so that now we can be incredibly decentralized. Very important. So the DG1s run at 2100 megahash. We bought 520 of them, which means that our next little more than 1 million megahash, a little more than what we have now, will be decentralized in homes across the state of Texas. Remember last week, I think I mentioned to you that I put the deposit down on phase 3, our first BC40. That's the 40-foot shipping container that holds 200 ASICs. And so we're expecting that to take about 3 months to be delivered and installed. And so if we're adding 5 a week, that means that the next, what was that, 4, 8, 12, 60 miners that come in, I think will double or triple over the next couple of months. So the BC40 holds 200 of these L9s. We'll have it almost entirely full by the time it arrives in 3 months and is ready to install. So that's where we're at with the mining. It was very encouraging to be able to show that off to our community and say, guys, here we are. We're building the mine. Take pictures, take video, share it with your people. Let them know it's real. We're still small. Remember, do the math. At 1.1 million gigahash, that's 1,100,000 111,000 mega hash, 110,000 mega hash over the goal of 100 million mega hash, we are still at 1%, 1.11% of the goal. Still ground floor, still brand new. Not the most impressive thing to show off to the world, but it's real and we're making progress. And now I'm comfortable enough with our results to share that with you and ask you to share that with our community. And so that was stop number 2 on our journey. Then we moved on to stop number 3. We took a trip to Mansfield. Now, I don't have a picture of Mansfield here for some reason, but we checked out Jay's office over there, right on Main Street in Mansfield. And I did a real quick impromptu training class on the networking side of our business, which is a really weird thing for me. I've never been a network marketer. I'm not a network marketer. I still today don't consider myself a network marketer. I might be running the best company in the whole network marketing space, but I'm not a network marketer, and I certainly don't consider our thing to be a network marketing thing. We've never advertised it that way. We've never promoted it that way. We've never presented it that way, or at least I haven't. And I think that's really a disservice because we've got a great thing. And there are a lot of people out there that like the idea of a home-based business. They like the idea of, a side hustle. Somebody drives Uber or delivers food or does something on the side to bring in a couple extra bucks. And I think that that's great. But I've never pitched the comp plan. I've never pitched the business opportunity. I've always talked about building the mine, making a top 100 coin, passively mining TEXITcoin is the reward. And we've got the bonus program. We've got the 1, 2 free, and we've got the rapid rewards. So I did a quick take on that. And I had to do a quick take on it because we were kind of late for the rodeo and we wanted to keep moving on. So I cut it short. I should have stuck around a little longer and spent more time talking about it. But I did a presentation. And I had a couple great people in the room that are network marketers, including my friend Arthur. And Arthur has joined us full time. This is his first week full time. And Arthur is really excited to take what we've put together so far and run with it because it's so much better than everything that's out there in the network marketing space. And Arthur knows those people. He's familiar with that conversation, a conversation that's very, very strange for me. He's been doing it for 20 years. And some of you guys have been doing it for a very long time as well. I'm getting lots of texts and phone calls now. Bobby, nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah. I put 10,000 people in this deal, 20,000. I go, look, I wish I could be helpful, but I don't actually know how to do this. What we've got so far is the best that I'm able to do with the skills that I have in this realm. And so I brought in Arthur as a leader to help our team really embrace this other side of what we might not be, but might be if we act like it. I know that's a confusing thing to say, but the point is, guys, there's a lot of money here to be made in helping us grow. $500 million is earmarked to fill the seats on the rocket ship. That money's up for grabs for anybody that wants to help us grow and achieve our goal. It's there. It's real. Where are we at so far on the payouts? Take a quick look. We have now paid out more than $2.4 million in commission. Guys, this is real money over the last year that's been paid out to people like you that see what we're doing. They go, oh, I get it. I can help you grow. I know how to do this. I've got friends. People look up to me and I love to talk about things that I'm passionate about and let me at this. Great. And so we're going to start building a lot more tools and resources and videos and training curriculum so that you can figure out really how to get the most out of TEXITcoin, out of mining TEXITcoin and helping us build and grow. And so that's what we did in Mansfield. We only spent a couple of minutes on it, the official training. I wish that I spent more time on it, but I think we covered some good stuff. There's a video out there somewhere. It's not a great quality, but we're going to remake all that stuff in the very near future so that if you want to figure out the basics of the comp plan, our suggestions on how to set up your organization, what the rapid rewards are, what the points are, how we calculate all that stuff, we'll make that stuff very, very, very soon. Some of you guys are already experts in it and can explain it to me better than I can probably explain it to you. But as we continue to grow and as I continue to shift towards what's coming next for us, developing our currency and being the champion of our technology, I'm really looking forward to some of you stepping up and leading the way on helping our business grow, kind of like a network marketing company. Not because we are one, but because we have the greatest thing out there that is happy, ready, willing, and able to incent you, to pay you to help us grow. We want to help you figure out how to do it. We want to put the tools in your pocket to go out there and do it successfully. And we want to pay you, preferably in USDC, when the week closes out and it's payday on Wednesday. So there's going to be a lot more stuff coming there. We went to the rodeo. We had a great time there. I'm not going to show you a lot of pics there if you want to check out that stuff. But like I said, guys, we accomplished the major goal. And the major goal was to get some of the great people in our community together, have them just kick back, let their hair down. Not all of these guys have hair, but let what little hair some of them have down and have a good time together. And that happened better than I could have ever imagined. We had the idea for this event like a week and a half ago. I threw it on my wife's lap and I'm like, good luck, make it great. But it was 5 stars all the way. And so today we've got 12 Texit Rangers. And so a lot of people are saying, well, I want in on the party. How do I become a Texit Ranger? And so I spent a couple minutes before our call trying to figure out some similarity between the 12 Rangers that we have right now. And I want to share that with you so that you can start to set the expectation with yourself on what we're looking for as we promote more of our miners to Ranger status. Number one, the average number that these 12 Rangers have sponsored, they've sponsored an average of 32 people. The lowest on the list sponsored 11. So you don't have to be at 32 to get there. Some of them have sponsored a lot. Some of them have sponsored, most of them have sponsored at least high teens and low 20s. A couple big guys out there, but that's the first metric that I'm looking at to identify potential Rangers. The second thing, and this is an interesting one, the second thing is that they've got an average cash available, cash potential of $73,000. This is an interesting metric because as you're going on there and sponsoring people, so let's say somebody jumps on board, they buy the 1 pack, that's 1 point. Well, 1 point gives you $1,000 of cash potential. So if you have 3 points on your left and 3 points on your right, it means you've brought in $6,000 for us and you've got a $6,000 cash potential. We'll pay out up to 100% of the money that you bring into our community. And so what happens then is that those people then go out and they achieve results. They build their teams. And if they decide to take a commission in a hash power upgrade, that counts as long as they're qualified as an additional point. And so you might have only sponsored 3 on one side and 3 on the other, but if they're going out there, they're building and they're reinvesting in more mining hash power, that's giving you a greater cash potential as well. And so a lot of these Rangers have brought on people that have gone out there and helped us build as well. You know, some Rangers are like, oh, I got a bunch of people and they're all down in one long line, but those people never do anything. And that's okay. We need some of that as well. But you don't get to 32 sponsored without, and at $72,000 or $73,000 cash potential without one of two things: either bringing on like larger miners, guys that are picking up 3 packs or 9 packs, or helping those guys. And this is ultimately what we want: helping those people to go out there and build teams as well. And I got to say that that's probably the most important fundamental component of becoming a Ranger. Helping your team to grow and succeed. I'm going to go back through and try to figure out which metric it is that I can use to figure that out. But for now, the point is that the Rangers have a couple of those things in common, and that's a good place for starting point for how to accelerate up the ranks. We want more teams. We want more Rangers. We're welcoming Truett and Chad to the community of Texit Rangers. They joined us on the adventure this past weekend, did a great job. They're doing a great job. And we are excited to have them and a lot more people join us as Rangers as well. So what's in it for the Rangers? Well, first of all, a Ranger can earn stars. And I say S on the end of stars because you don't just get one. We've awarded 3 stars right now to 3 Rangers. Each star carries $1,000 weekly bonus along with it. So we got 3 guys now that are making not just their max every week in rapid rewards, but another $1,000 on top of that, $4,000 a week for those guys. And so, like I said, we're not capping it at 1 star. I don't know, 4, 5, 6, 10 stars. I don't know. We'll see what the possibilities are. We'll see who rises to the top and shows us really what being a leader is all about. Second, Rangers get invited to exclusive events like the World Digital Mining Summit coming up next month in beautiful Las Vegas. May 25, 26, and 27, we've got the World Digital Mining Summit. Now, this event is put on by Bitmain. It is the largest event for the mining industry. And this is where we went last year to learn about immersion cooling. This is where just a year ago, we discovered immersion cooling technology and met a whole lot of great vendors, learned about ERCOT here in Texas and how the entire mining community all revolves around power generation. Today, I paid the one-time fee to become a keynote speaker at the event. Where's my keynote speaker? There you go. 15,000 bucks I paid today to Bitmain so that we've got a speaking slot. We're one of 8 people that are on the speaking slot. And so I will be speaking next month at the World Digital Mining Summit. I'll have my picture here on next year's little thing. And I am inviting all of my Texas Rangers to go out there. Come join me. Vegas next month. I don't know where it is yet, but it's going to be there next month. Now, they're not the only ones that are invited to join me. Okay. Premature announcement time. Here we go. I have asked my Texas Rangers to come up with a contest and promotion on how you can join us there in Las Vegas as well. Mark, thank you very much, went as far as putting together a little brochure. I don't know if I can find it while we're on the call here. I don't think I can. Mark put together a little poster, and his poster's way off. It says silly things on there like flights and hotels not included. No, no, no. That's not the TEXITcoin way, my mining friends. Remember, TEXITcoin is crypto, and crypto is all about that crypto rich experience. So if you qualify, and I don't know how you qualify just yet, so don't ask, but we will cover your flight. We'll cover your hotel. We'll give you a cash bonus for food to cover for a couple days while you're out there. We'll ask you to bring a friend with you if you want to bring somebody along for the journey. I don't know yet who's going to qualify and exactly what you need to do. It'll probably have something to do with number of direct sponsorships. I'm thinking that if you have 10 sponsorships between now and then, we'll invite you for an all expenses paid trip to Las Vegas domestic. Don't get any ideas there, Mark. We'll invite you for an all expense paid trip to come and join us in Las Vegas. Maybe if you bring on 10 new miners, we'll pay for you. If you bring on 15, we'll allow you to bring a friend. I don't know exactly what the rules are yet. Don't quote me on any of this yet, but I want you guys to have a blast with us. We're having a ton of fun, and it's high time that you join us in this adventure. So if you're thinking about helping us grow, now is a great time to do it. Why? Because next month we're going to be having a great time together in Las Vegas. Remember, May 25, 26, 27. I think that's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday of May. Yes, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 25, 26, 27 next month in Las Vegas. I think the event's going to be somewhere near the Venetian. I'm not sure. They haven't announced exactly where the event's going down, but you will have an opportunity to win your way there. And I'm talking travel. I'm talking hotel. I'm talking food. I'm talking tickets to the conference so that you can get to hang out with your founder and fearless leader while he tells the world. And this is a pretty interesting community. You guys will see what I'm talking about once you get there. Tell the world about TEXITcoin. That's what I want to do with my time. I want to be on stage. I want to be talking about TEXITcoin to anyone and everyone that's willing to listen. I want to invite them to join us. I want to invite them to pick up some TEXITcoin on the open market. And for us here, I want to talk about growing the mine. And that's going down at the end of next month, 25, 26, 27. And you can earn your way there by helping us grow. Have a great time with TEXITcoin. 5 stars all the way, guys. You'll see. If you were with us this past weekend or heard anything about it or saw the pictures, we spared no expense. And so we want to continue to share that. We're doing great. We're under budget on a lot of these things. And now it's time to get that party started and going to the next level. So with that, I ask you, if you've got any questions, what do you got? Toby says, Bobby, brand new. Just started today after referral from my friend Maddie. Maddie, thank you. Can you explain it to me like I'm a 3-year-old? Sure. Maddie, he's got the DeLorean. This is a Bitcoin time machine. We have built ourselves a Bitcoin time machine. We're going back to when Bitcoin was 30, 40, 50, 60 cents, and we're starting over, and we're not losing our way. Number one, we've learned from all the mistakes that everybody else made. Number two, is we realize how important it is to stay on path for the mission. The Bitcoin bros, they sold out. The same institutions that they set out to disrupt now control the whole thing. Mega banks, foreign nations. We let this technology slip through our fingers. We're taking it back, guys. I'm doing it with a bunch of people that would have never been caught dead in crypto. A bunch of gold and silver buyers first, my friends that I've been selling to for years and years and years. They joined me and they brought it to their friends and their family and their communities, and it grew. We're coming up on 3,000 people now. Toby, we're in a time machine and we're going back. We're learning from all the mistakes. We've got a second chance. One shot. We've got one shot to do it right. That's where we are. Hopefully that was a good 3-year-old explanation. Time machine. I like it. David says, any contact with Texas politician? Ted Cruz comes to mind, obviously. Well, his father happens to be a TEXITcoin miner. So we've got a little bit of connections here and there. I'm just going to keep going. Melanie says, is there a way to skip the Ethereum network when turning TXC into cash? No, not yet, but there will be. In fact, I'm working on a website right now called swaptxc.com. And that'll give you an opportunity to turn TEXITcoin into anything you want that we support on that website. And so that's a big priority for me because remember, as miners, you guys are looking to monetize your TEXITcoin. You guys are the first ones. It comes directly off the mine and goes right to you. And so you need to be able to turn that into anything you want. If you can't, it's not valuable. So our job is to create markets and liquidity so that you have the ability to monetize it anytime you want. Cross your fingers and see how high the rocket ship goes, or sell it day in and day out and turn it into cash to support your family. One of the things that we're doing, which is kind of fun and annoying, is we're pushing this cash potential limitation. You know, the short money is the cash that you get every week through the rapid rewards. The long money is the TEXITcoin and the hash power. And so what happens is if you don't qualify for taking home cash, you get more hash power. It still has the same value, same $1,000 value, or 2,000 or 3,000. But what it does is it pushes you towards figuring out how to monetize those TEXITcoin. So now you're just going to start getting more TEXITcoin every day. Okay, well, I wanted the cash, but it wasn't qualified. Now I got to figure out how to sell the TEXITcoin. Yeah, exactly. Guys, you don't understand it yet, maybe, but I'm trying to tell you that we don't have enough liquidity on the sell side. If somebody came along right now with 100 grand, some whale, they said, I want to get into TEXITcoin, they would drive the price all the way up to like $50 a coin. It sounds cool, but what happens if there's not enough buyers at that price? The price comes crashing back down. And we don't want a yo-yo market like that. That looks immature. We want a market just like the one we have now that's kind of stair-stepping its way slowly but surely towards our goal. We don't have enough sellers of TEXITcoin yet. Sounds ridiculous, but it's true. And so if you don't have the cash potential to qualify for a weekly cash reward through the Rapid Rewards program, you get more hash power. What happens with the more hash power? You get more TEXITcoin. So I got to help you figure out how to monetize it. I got to teach you how to do it, and I've got to give you tools and markets and exchanges and liquidity. So all that's improving as we get more into the market side of things. Robert says, can you talk about when someone is actually mining in the on-ramp process? At what stage? Proof they have transferred money or proof that they've USDC bought waiting to be able to transfer? Yes, that's the answer to your question. If you send us a screenshot that you've got the money in Coinbase and it's on hold, we'll activate your account. Look, we don't have anything against activating your account the moment you call us up and say, I'm in. We're just not going to send you the coin until you pay for it, right? That's it. So as soon as we have a high level of confidence that you're going to follow through, we'll set up your mining for you. There's no incentive for us to not do it. Doesn't matter. If you'd ever pay, we just don't ever send you the coin. And then we got a coin that's got some extra coins on it for the next guy that jumps in. Point is, that's never happened, first of all. Second of all, convince us that you are on the right track with your onboarding process, and we'll set it up for you. All right? Hopefully that makes sense. Byron, what's up, my man? Thanks for paying off that peer payment. Hey, guys, remember, peer payments are a really great way for us to bridge the gap. Okay? I know the on-ramping process is a little difficult, a little cumbersome for some people. It's actually pretty easy once you do it. But if you can send a Venmo or a Zelle or a Cash App or write a paper check to somebody that's already in, like the person that told you about it, and then they can turn that into crypto for us, that's a really big help for us. Okay? We don't want angry people. We don't want people screaming at us saying, what are you doing? My friend used a credit card. Why can't I? All right. All right. Figure it out. Contact somebody. And then whoever accepts that payment on our behalf, we give them a 5% discount for helping us out. So I'll send you an invoice at the end of the week, and then you remit 95% of it in USDC. Very easy. Very easy. Don't send it until we send you the invoice. We got to keep track of it. But the point is, help us out. And if you do that, there's a 5% reward in there for you. Thank you for following through on that, Byron. Does the increased gig hash increase the production of coins? Not really. Maybe, maybe not. Check this out. Let's go back to our screen share and I will show you the output every day of the TXC that's shared. You can mouse over and see how much TEXITcoin gets shared. 92,000, 97,000, 93, 97, 98. Now, a couple slow days, 90, 91. If you change this to a longer timeline, we had a couple bad weeks where the network was down for a little bit. Oopsie. But what I would wonder is that over time, whether or not we'll see this trend up. And so back in July of last year, we were doing an average of 95,000. Then it was 93. Then it was 91. So I'm wondering if as we have more power, we'll see it trend back up. The network is designed to actually create a block every 3 minutes. There are 20 3-minute intervals in an hour and 24 hours in a day. So we're supposed to make 480 blocks a day, and we get 254 coins per block. So our network is designed to make 121,920 coins per day. But as you can see, over time, we've really only been making more like 90, 95. But it looks like in just the last couple of months, or let's take a look at the last couple of weeks, we're pretty consistent at like 94, 95,000. And so let's keep an eye on it, Byron, because I'm not really sure. I think we should see it increase over time as our network hash power increases, but not a lot. And definitely not past the programmed maximum. But right now we're doing about 94, 95,000 coins a day. Austin's iPhone says, I'm new to this. Can we find a video or written instructions on how to take TEXITcoin out from digital wallet and sell it for US dollars? I plan to hold it for a while, but I'm wondering where I can go to get this info. Yes, it's very simple. Log into the payout website, click on resources, go over to Zoom calls, and we've got, I think it's an 8-part series called From Mine to Money. Now, I've got to break all that down, and we're in the process of breaking all that down and turning it into the help site. So now if you go to minetxc.com and you click on help at the top, it'll take you over to our knowledge base. And the knowledge base will be built out very extensively with all of this stuff, mining, TXC basics, crypto basics. There's a lot of stuff here that's not published yet. And I just haven't read it, reviewed it. It's like I got a mental block about it for some reason. I don't know why, but it's all right there and it's all coming very, very, very soon. I'm going to go through and do it tonight. I promise. Promise. Accountability. Remember? But yes, it's a great question. The video is there. It's in the resource section. It's called From Mine to Money, and it takes you through the whole thing. It's 2 hours long. Buckle up, get some popcorn, make yourself dinner. But it takes you through the whole thing, and it's a really, really easy process. Rewind, fast forward, watch it 100 times, but you'll figure it out, and it works great. Can you see us? No, we can't see you. Can't see you, anonymous attendee. Guys, that's it. It's Tuesday night. I'm Bobby Gray. I started it. I love this. It's the most successful thing I've ever done. It's got more room on the rocket ship than any project I've ever done before. I know how to make money. I know how to build companies. I've done it every single time. This is by far the biggest and the best, and it is just beginning. And I'm more proud of this than I care to even acknowledge. My family's been here to support me as I've gotten this thing off the ground. My friends have been here, and they haven't watched. They've helped. Guys that I've known for 10, 15 years have rolled up their sleeves and said, okay, I know what he's capable of. I want in. And now all of you are here as well. Remember, your job, keep your coins safe, watch my back, hold me accountable. Together, we're doing it. It's just the beginning, but now is the time to step on the gas. All right. We're still working on cleaning up that onboarding process to make it easier, less cumbersome. Work with us as we get the rest of the kinks ironed out. And let's go to Vegas next month. I'll see you guys there. I'm Bobby Graham, the founder of TEXITcoin. Thanks so much for joining me. I'll catch you Rangers tomorrow night, and I'll catch the rest of you maybe on Thursday for the welcome to TEXITcoin speech. All right. Have a great night. We'll talk again. Bye.